So the main reason no contact doesn't work in most cases, doesn't actually lead to successfully winning back that relationship, at least long term, come down to a few things, a few consistent things. No contact in itself, I almost think that there needs to be another term for it, because no contact only tells half the picture. No contact is when you go through a heartbreak. Normally you chase, you plead, you beg, you realize that's not attractive, you realize they're getting further away, you've painted yourself into a corner. So a lot of times you're doing no contact because that's the only option left to you. But then even when you're doing that, a lot of times, especially men, we tend to do it wrong. We put all of our heart into it. So it's not a matter of effort. It's not even a matter of detail. Sometimes my clients are some of the most intelligent, successful, detail-oriented, analytical thinkers in the world. But a lot of times it still doesn't work. Most of the time it doesn't work because no contact is focused on just that. I'm going to stay obsessed with them. I'm going to be monitoring them. I'm going to constantly be pulling in information and data. I'm going to be trying to find everything I can to get the best plan together to make sure I really win them back. So when you're in no contact, you're really just doing no contact on the outside, but you're still staying obsessed with them, and you're missing a few key ingredients to sincerely drive genuine attraction up. And there's a big difference in trying to fake strength that you don't really feel and being able to win them back just enough to give you enough hope to hang on, but not enough to actually give you long-term change. So I want to make this video for especially men who are struggling with no contact, trying to win that person back that you just know you want one more chance with, to give you the best shot at it. Now, some of it's going to sound meaningless. It'll sound like semantics, but it's really not. So I'm just going to have to ask you to trust me. And please wait till the end, because each one of these things matter. And you might have heard them before, but I'm going to try to put it in a way and explain it in a way that really makes it land so that you can understand the difference. The first thing I want to hit on, and I don't want to stay long in this area, is that if you really caused the breakup, if you were the douchebag, if you were the womanizer, if you were the manipulator, if you were the bad guy, don't go into no contact thinking that that's going to snap them out of it. Maybe they got tired of being with the douchebag. Maybe they got tired of trying to tell you for the millionth time that you should change, that you should wake up, that you should grow up. You should stop spending the rent money on marijuana. You should stop forgetting about your anniversary so you can play Halo or Call of Duty or whatever game is the hot thing right now. I mean, especially if you're playing Fortnite. I mean, come on, grow up. My point is, if you caused the breakup, take ownership, take accountability, but take ownership and accountability in an adult way that still leaves room for them to admire you. Don't slobber all over yourself and snot all over yourself and interrupt their dinner at a restaurant while they're on a date because it's just so important to you that they know how sorry you are. You can apologize for being a self-absorbed douchebag narcissist in a way that just reaffirms you're a self-absorbed douchebag narcissist. I had one client that said, I realized how much I had mistreated her when she was on another date with another man. So I called her 17 times while she was on the date. I found out what theater she went to, and I drove there to find her and her date just so I could explain to her how sorry I am. Like, you don't see a problem with that? You don't see how she still made it all about you when she had decided she'd had enough of you? But my point is, if you have to analyze, like a lot of times somebody will get on a call with me and say, I think I caused the breakup, but I'm not sure. Well, then you probably didn't cause the breakup. If you really caused it, it's going to be unmissable. You'll know it because if it's really your fault, that means that you have repeatedly and consistently crossed minimal, respectable, reasonable boundaries. If you kept doing that, like for example, my wife wants me to take my shoes off when I walk around the house. I don't think about it. I'm always comfortable in shoes. So she has to consistently remind me of that. She reminds me I take the shoes off. If she leaves me because I forget to take my shoes off, that's a her thing. On the other hand, if I take the car payment for the month and go spend it on the next Usyk fight, the next time there's a heavyweight boxing championship, then that's a me thing. So if you cause the breakup, you'll know it. People on your side, your own friends and your own family will tell you that you did it. But then own the apology, but still frame and own the apology in strength. There's a difference in, I'm so sorry I did that, and I'm apologizing for the 117th time. Please forgive me because my life is worthless without you. That's not attractive. It might prove to them that you're really sorry, but it also projects this kind of a weakness and desperation, and you're in so much pain that the pain becomes the assumed motivator for the words, not real sincere change, but saying something like, I don't have an excuse. You told me 1,000 times I shouldn't have done it. I understand why I'm losing you. I'm not telling you this to try to get you back. I don't deserve you back. But I just want you to know I'm going to make the changes I should have made a long time ago. I hope I get another chance with you one day. If I don't, I understand it. I'll always regret it. But you just deserve to know that I'm really sorry and I learned my lesson this time. There's a difference in those two. So if you owe them an apology and accountability, give them both, but then pull back. The funny thing is, if you apologize the right way, mean it, sincerely mean it, but then have enough self-respect, enough dignity that you own it with strength instead of owning it with desperation and panic, that can actually be attractive. So give them the apology, have enough confidence, have enough self-belief and resilience to own the apology, but still be able to step back. That's actually attractive. You can actually create apology and sense of loss in that person at the same time. And that's actually what you want to do. But I'm going to move on from that one now. Number 2, and this is the hard one, especially for the more successful, the more intelligent. Like I talk to multimillionaires that really struggle with this one. This is usually the number one thing that they struggle with. They're used to success. They're used to succeeding, to coming up with a plan, following the plan, and hitting the goal. So now they're in this emotional trauma. You're going through a breakup that's more painful than you ever thought was possible. But good news, you know you're actually really good at coming up with a plan or a strategy and accomplishing something most guys can't accomplish. So I should be able to win back this woman that for a long time I already had. I should be able to win back a woman that I know at one time loved me. I just need to come up with the right plan and then micromanage that plan with precision. That will actually work against you in this case. It works for you in school. It works for you in business. It works for you in most areas of life. Discipline, structure, a plan. But with attraction, it doesn't work. The more obsessed you are on them, the more they'll pick up on it. It's harder for you to focus on you and projecting the strongest version of you while you're obsessed with the thought of losing them. And you'll know you're in this state because the emotional pain is so great that it feels like physical agony. There's a part of your brain known as the anterior cingulate cortex that helps you kind of regulate topic change. It helps you deal with emotional trauma. That part of your brain won't be working right anymore. You'll be hyper-focused on winning them back. You won't be able to change that channel in your mind. That'll convince you that they're irreplaceable. It'll convince you that you've got to do whatever you have to do to win them back because that's the only way to stop this pain. And another key point of it is you'll start to feel like your life without them is a consolation prize at best. In other words, it'll rock your sense of worth and it'll rock the sense of being lucky to be living your own life to such a degree that you really believe if I never win this person back, then whatever else my life turns into, it'll be the second best life I could have had. You associate your best life with only having them. You develop outcome lock. And it's that sense of focus, that sense of deep down belief connecting your happiness, your sense of purpose, your sense of meaning only with them coming back is the number one thing that sabotages men in this position. So that hyper-focus, that intelligence, that giftedness, it's all been harnessed and used against you, and now it's all focused on them. So if this is describing what you're feeling right now, you have to stop and realize you can't fight that feeling. The more you try to resist it, the more it magnifies. Like Dr. Carl Jung used to say, what we resist persists. That's what he's talking about. I don't miss her. I don't care. I'm not going to think about her. Well, the more you try not to think about something, the more you think about something. It's the pink elephant metaphor. The more I tell you not to think about a pink elephant, your brain doesn't understand a negative direction. Your subconscious just knows, all I know is a pink elephant's really important. I don't want to think about Trudy anymore. I don't want to think about Lisa anymore. Who do I not want to think about? Lisa. Why don't I want to think about Lisa? Because it hurts so much, because I miss her so much, because I don't think I can live without Lisa, so I have to stop thinking about Lisa. My word, I'm thinking about Lisa a lot right now. You have to kind of do what seems very contradictory. That name Lisa or that pink elephant is going to float around in my head for a while. It's okay. It's okay that it's in there. I have a gifted mind. I just lost something extremely important to me. I'm in a state of emotional trauma. So that name is going to float around in my head. That pink elephant caused me a lot of pain, so of course my brain's going to lock on that pink elephant. That's okay. But I don't need to let the thought trigger me into the pursuit and the hyper-analysis of that thought. Let yourself think about it, but don't put that topic back on the strategy board and start hyper-analyzing it. When your mind is in a constant state of CSI investigation mode, that's when you know you're going down the wrong path. So learn to let yourself feel it, to let yourself think about it, but don't let it claim your obsession. Don't let yourself get chained and locked to that strategy board about how am I going to get this person back. You have to have a contradictory thought. The best way to reattract the person I don't want to lose is I have to become the man who is strong enough to lose her. And I know that sounds like a trick, but the truth is it's based on this one premise that our instinct and our fear convinces us is true. That if neither one of us is fighting for the relationship, then the relationship has no chance. We tend to look at it like this. There were two of us in the relationship, and for so long, she loved me so much, but I took her for granted, and I lost her, and now she's gone. And now there's only me fighting for this relationship. So I've got to hyper-focus on this. I've got to win her back. I've got to do everything that I can. But that projects weakness. It projects desperation. It projects obsession. None of that's attractive. If you stop fighting and you start projecting and focusing on you, that projects strength. And if they were in love with the version of you before, if you become a better version of you, you have a really good chance of activating that fear that we all have, that the person we walked away from turned out to be the one person we never got over. Nobody wants to lose anything or anyone that's only going to increase in value after we walk away from it, after we discard it. Like imagine that you sell your old junk car because it's just, you're tired of it. You hate that it doesn't start on a cold Thursday morning. You hate the color of the interior, so you get rid of it, only to find out it's a classic car that a lot of people, a lot of collectors have been looking for. All of a sudden, you're going to remember that car and think, I used to love that car. I can't believe I gave up that car. It's just part of our ego, part of how we're wired. You don't want to lose something that's going to increase in worth after you walk away from it. But when you just got discarded, your instinct is to fight. Like that breakup, that relationship seems so close by that if I just reach out and grab it, if I just reach out and tell that person all the things I've realized, all the things I've changed, all the things I promise, well, they were in love with me before. So they're definitely going to love the person that's the better version of who they loved to begin with. I just need to find a way to effectively communicate to them how much better I'm ready to be for them. The problem is, the more you try to communicate how much better you're willing to be, the weaker you come across, the more dependent you come across, the more you inflate their ego while lowering your value. So that gulf in attraction gets wider. So in order to win them back, you have to accept this contradictory thinking. Okay, to win them back, I need to stop checking on their social media. I need to stop being an invisible drone that's just hovering over their life all the time, recording, reporting back to my creative thinking so I can come up with the perfect plan. Look at it this way. If you're convinced that the only best version of your life has to include them, that means that they're the most important thing in your life. If they're the most important thing in your life, they don't need you. Women especially, studies have shown over and over again, women are drawn to a man that's living an exceptional life. A dominant man, not dominant over her, I don't mean it in a sexist way, but dominant in his field, dominant among his peers, the man that stands out from the crowd. The man I'm describing isn't the kind of man that says, if I don't have that one woman in my life, then my life is meaningless. Like Superman isn't looked at as Superman by everybody because he just can't get out of bed. He can't leave the Fortress of Solitude unless Lois Lane is with him. Lois Lane wouldn't want a Superman who wasn't strong enough to fly without him. So stop trying to prove that you're the man she should pick, because nobody hurts as much, nobody loves as much, nobody aches as much as you do over her. It's not actually attractive. Refocus on yourself. The next thing to do is find the things in your life that you can improve on. And look, it's okay. One of the things that the men especially get stuck on, I'm going to go work out to win her back. No, I can't do that. I'm going to go work out for me. I'm going to go improve myself for me. Well, look, if you're still in love with this person and you're still in as much pain as I'm talking about, the truth is your mind wants to come up with a plan to have a chance, just a chance to win that person back. So be honest with yourself. You can break the chain of belief that says, I can only have the best life I was meant to live if they're in my life, but still admit to yourself, but I still want them back. So I'm not saying you have to pretend like you don't want another chance. Own the fact that you very much want another chance with them. And let that motivation be enough to get you off the couch, to get you out of bed, to give you some energy to focus on the things that you really need to fix. So if you're overweight, if your finances are a mess, if you don't have any idea what you want to do for a career, if you're still living with your mom and you're like the co-manager at 7-Eleven for the last 17 years, and you have no intent of ever becoming the manager of the 7-Eleven, then take a hard look at yourself and change the things that you need to change. And it's okay that part of your motivation in changing these things is winning her back. The thing is, if you have a goal, then a goal can be actually energizing. It can give you some energy. The problem with what guys will do is, I need to just be honest with myself. She's never coming back. I'm always going to love her. I'm always going to miss her, and she's never coming back. That's not just depression. That's hopelessness. Hopelessness is a paralytic. It'll drain all your energy. So you accept this lie that is completely hopeless. Your brain wants to shut down. It's already convinced it can't have the one life that it wants, and everything else is a consolation prize, so I'm not going to do anything. Well, now you're becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you have to embrace a little bit of hope because number one, it's realistic. Chances are you're not in a completely hopeless situation despite how it's going to feel right now. So own that hope. That hope is the key to energy. That energy is the key to re-attracting her. So just tell yourself, all right, do I need to work out? Do I need to get in shape? Do I need to fix my finances? Do I have legal problems I need to straighten out? There are probably some areas that you can strengthen and improve to re-attract. And if there's not, then just add to the strengths that you already have. But the point is focus on you and make sure you stop hyper-focusing on them. That hyper-focus on them is not going to do any good. And stop going by time frames. I'm not a big fan of the 30, 60, 90 days. I have seen so many people come back after the 90 days. For me, I have to say that the majority of the people, it's past the 90 days. The key thing is, when does it reach a point when they're more concerned that they couldn't get you back than they are confident that they can have you back anytime they want you? A lot of times somebody will ask me, let's say I have a client named Kevin who's saying, I've been in no contact now for 2 or 3 months and they still haven't come back. Why do you think that is? I would say, well, Kevin, if somebody were to walk up to your ex and say, hey, how confident are you that you could get Kevin back if you want him? If that woman would say, oh, I'm very confident I could have him back, that's probably why she hasn't come back. There needs to be a fear of loss, a fear of regret. Some significant thing has happened so that she's no longer more confident she can have you back anytime she wants you. And now she's more concerned that even if she wants you back, she can't have you. If she kind of looks at you as a given, yeah, he's an option. Well, why does she need to move you from option to attraction? So you need to project strength. That's why one of the reasons why you need to disconnect and stop obsessing over her. You need to become the better version of yourself, number one, to remind you of your sense of self-worth. One of the great things that happens if you follow this plan that I'm talking about, you start off doing this because your main goal is to win them back. And it's okay to be honest with yourself. But the more you're focused on you, the more you're improving you. Even if the motivation is to get them back, you're slowly proving to yourself, you're reminding yourself of your own value. The goal is you do it long enough, if your beliefs and your actions disagree with each other, if you act like you're strong enough to live with somebody you don't think you can live without, over time you prove to yourself you are strong enough to live without that person. You start to have respect for yourself. You start to have self-admiration. You start to have this sense of worth that becomes attractive. So if you do no contact the right way, you fall back in love with you, or at least you fall back into self-respect for yourself, and then the re-attraction comes. But if you're doing no contact the wrong way, you'll know it because you'll still become convinced that if they don't come back, then whatever life I have is my consolation prize. It's the second best life I could have had. If you're still in that mindset, they probably know it on some level too. So you have to flip it. You have to become the version of yourself that's so much greater than what they expected you to be when they walked away, that now they start to think the life I'm going to have because I broke up with him, that's my consolation prize. I broke up with and I walked away from the man who was the person I was supposed to be with. That was my best life. The man he became, and I took him for granted and I threw him away. I walked away and I discarded him. Become the person that you're confident she's going to have a hard time replacing you instead of you feeling like it's impossible to replace her. Regrab your sense of meaning. Regrab your sense of purpose. Like I'm a Christian. One of the things I like about being a Christian is it gives me this solid sense of it's untouchable. I have a sense of worth. God gave me my worth. He gave me my purpose. He gave me my sense of identity. I'm not going to throw that away based on the opinion of another flawed mortal human being. So you say I'm broken? You say I'm not worthy of you? All right. Well, I got the creator of the universe who made me, that gave me a purpose. Now, maybe you don't believe in God, but there has to be something about you, some meaning, some passion, some purpose that you have in life that gives you more sense of value than what any other person thinks of you. And if you don't get to that point, then you're putting so much pressure, so much expectation, so much responsibility for the joy of your life at the feet of another human being. That's just not attractive. Nobody wants to be seen as so important that life without me makes your life miserable. Really? You can't get out of bed unless I'm in the bed next to you? That doesn't actually stir feelings of attraction and admiration. It makes me kind of think, you need to get a puppy. You need to get a hobby. So just the very fact that your mind is locked on, if I don't get them back, my life isn't what it was meant to be. You have to change that mindset to get them back. And I know it seems like a contradiction, but that's the way it works. That's how attraction works. So I hope this video makes sense. I know details matter. Every situation is a little bit different. If I can help, you can find me at realcoachken.com. And look, if you know somebody that's going through something like this, the funny thing is our friends kind of know this, what I'm describing, that broken part of us when we get rejected and all of a sudden our sense of value just plummets. It really irritates our friends and family. That's one of the reasons they hate our ex so much, because they look at us and think, who did this to you? How did you forget your own worth? How did you forget your own self-respect? Why are you acting like this? So we all have friends and family that judge us, even though they act exactly the same way when their heart's broken. But if you know somebody going through it, maybe send them this video and maybe it'll help kind of snap them out of it, or at least give them a game plan to get from where they are to where they want to be.